Adam, you just heard from police. What did they tell you?
So, yes, they did confirm that this SWAT standoff is over after more than 3 hours. They also tell us that the suspect in all of this has been taken to the hospital with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the stomach. There was also one other person that was injured in all of this, a neighbor. They say he fired 4 rifle rounds from his apartment into a neighboring building. They actually hit a woman in that neighboring building in the foot. She was taken to the hospital as well, but we'll show you some video from earlier. This all started just before 2 o'clock this morning. Police got a call. They called it a disturbance call. They say somebody reported a man acting erratically, shouting. Well, they show up on scene and they say that the man then fired 4 rifle rounds toward a neighboring building, not necessarily directed at police, but they were in the area. And again, one of those rounds did go into a neighboring apartment and hit a woman there in the foot. Officers were able to get her out and get her into an ambulance. They also evacuated some of the nearby buildings, and that's when that 3+ hour long standoff ensued. They say at some point the man came back out onto the balcony and fired another rifle round toward a neighboring building, but throughout all of this, police were in contact, SWAT was in contact, both on the phone and actually shouting with the man back and forth when he would come out on the balcony. They actually say that loud bang that we heard at the end of my 5 o'clock live shot, that appears to be one of those rifle rounds. Police say they never fired any flashbangs or anything like that, but they did get on the loudspeaker. They were trying to get him to come out and surrender, and they say at some point he used a pistol to shoot himself in the stomach. They then brought him out, took him to an ambulance, and evacuated him, took him to the hospital. But the good news here is that beyond that one person injured, nobody else was hurt. This could have been much worse, police say, both for officers and for people that were living here. We don't have a lot of information on who this suspect is. We don't have an age. They're not releasing his name just yet. But if he survives this, they say he could face charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.